government to form special committee to address cyberbullying. Major outage wrought havoc on global computer systems. Good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. You're watching Malaysia Tonight. I am Olivia Nicholas. The Cabinet in its meeting agreed to establish a special committee to address issues of cyberbullying in the country. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil said the committee will involve the Communications Ministry, Home Ministry, Digital Ministry and Legal Affairs Division for the Prime Minister's Department, Law and Institutional Reform. Fahmi said the committee will also be supported by a special team involving the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, the Royal Malaysia Police and the Attorney General's Chambers. Fahmi added the setting up of the special committee and the special team was very important because they would be able to utilise all the expertise available in relation to the matter across ministries and agencies. At the same time, he said they are also open and welcome the cooperation and involvement of other ministries in jointly dealing with the issues of cyberbullying. At the press conference after the cabinet meeting last Friday, Fahmi was reported to have said that Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim had asked the MCMC and the police to take stern action in cases involving cyberbullying. A major outage wrought havoc on global computer systems, which has resulted in major travel disruptions and affected the operations of key institutions such as airlines, banks and media outlets. New Zealand media said banks and computer systems inside the country's parliament were reporting issues. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, major US air carriers, including Delta, United and American Airlines, grounded all flights over a communication issue. Flights were also suspended at Berlin-Brandenburg Airport in Germany due to a technical problem. The UK's biggest rail operator, meanwhile, warned of possible train cancellations due to IT issues, while photos posted online showed large queues forming at Sydney Airport in Australia. Hong Kong's airport also said some airlines had been affected, with its authority issuing a statement in which it linked the disruption to a Microsoft outage. Microsoft said it was taking mitigation actions in response to service issues. On a related note, Malaysia Airports Holdings Berhad MAHB said its services and network of airports in Malaysia are not affected by the global IT outage. However, local low-cost airline Air Asia said its core reservation and check-in system have been affected by a global IT issue. While there seems to be no cancellations as of now, flights to destinations that have been affected by the global outage could affect Malaysia's airlines flights. There have been news reports coming from all over the globe pertaining to travel disruptions. The report cited issues linked to global cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike Holdings Inc. is an American cybersecurity technology company based in Austin, Texas. It provides penetration workload and endpoint security threat intelligence and cyber attack services. The installation ceremony of the 17th Yang di-Pertuan Agong tomorrow is very important to strengthen the people's loyalty to the constitutional monarchy system, which has long been practiced in Malaysia. The event is particularly significant for Sultan Ibrahim as it mirrors the historical process his father, the late Sultan Iskandar Sultan Ismail, underwent when he was installed as the 8th Yang di-Pertuan Agong in 1984. Istana Negara Deputy Grand Chamberlain Sufian Abdul Rahman said Sultan Ibrahim referred to the ceremony held 40 years ago as a guideline as His Majesty greatly respected and revered his late father Sultan Iskandar.
Semua persediaan ni sebenarnya mendapat titah daripada Kepada Mahkamah Mulia Suri Paduka Baginda Tuanku sendiri, dan kita jadikan pedoman. Maklumlah, Tuanku sering sentiasa menitahkan supaya istiadat yang kita buat ni sebenarnya juga adalah maruah negara, kerana menjadi panduan kepada yang orang luar untuk menyaksikan secara dekat juga begitu keunikan istiadat pertabalan raja-raja yang kita pelihara negara selama ini. Dan dari segi jam pertabalannya, pinggan pertabalannya, pingat pertabalannya dan segala hiasannya, semuanya mendapat titah pedoman daripada tuanku sendiri, menunjukkan rasa tanggungjawab yang begitu tinggi. Sebab tuanku sebenarnya tidak perlu pun untuk mengambil cakna, tetapi sebagai ketua negara yang bertanggungjawab untuk memastikan istiadat ini akan berlangsung dengan penuh gilang gemilang. Yang di-Pertuan Agong sentiasa memberikan titah pedoman dan ingatan untuk kita buat sebaik-baiknya.
Several events have been lined up in conjunction with the installation ceremony, starting with a Yasin recital and will conclude with a royal tea reception on the 27th of July. Still ahead in our business segment, Malaysia's economy poised for surge in second quarter of this year. Malaysia's economy is estimated to expand by 5.8% in the second quarter of 2024, Q2 2024, up to 4.2% in the previous quarter and the highest since Q4 2022, 7.4%. For the first half of this year, Chief Statistician Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said gross domestic product GDP rose by 5% versus 4.1% a year ago. He said Malaysia's economy is expected to continue its growth momentum supported by domestic and export-driven factors with a positive outlook for the rest of this year. He noted that the second quarter's estimated growth was in line with the Industrial Production Index, which rose 6.1% and 2.4% in April and May, respectively, versus a year ago. The services sector drove economic performance for the quarter under review, with most key sectors showing better growth than the previous quarter. Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzair said the manufacturing sector grew to 4.7% in the second quarter from 1.9% in the previous quarter, supported by growth in mainly non-metallic mineral products, basic metal and fabricated metal products, and petroleum, chemical, rubber and plastic products. The construction sector meanwhile maintained a double-digit 17.2% growth, driven by strong performance across all subsectors. Malaysia is poised to play an increasingly significant role in the global LNG trading landscape as Petronas gears up to expand its investments in overseas projects driven by positive long-term demand outlook. Elaborating further through a note today, BMI, a Fitch Solutions company, said with a strategic focus on enhancing its LNG portfolio, Petronas is actively exploring investment opportunities abroad, particularly in countries such as Australia, Canada and Indonesia. While plans for forthcoming projects in Argentina and Indonesia are still at nascent stages, the company is diligently working towards their realization. Moreover, Petronas is strategically shifting its attention towards burgeoning markets such as China and other emerging economies to maintain and bolster its LNG export capabilities. Notably, China emerges as a pivotal market with substantial growth potential for Malaysian LNG, reflecting a mutually beneficial relationship that is poised for further development. In parallel, the expansion of the partnership with Thailand is gaining momentum, with a keen outlook on Vietnam as a promising market for future collaborations and growth prospects. The cooperative movement in Malaysia needs to play a most significant role through the property development and construction sectors that can have a high impact not only on its members but on the public. Entrepreneur and Cooperatives Development Minister Dato' Yvonne Benedict said property development is not only focused on housing but also built to suit development that is building that will be used as hospitals, hotels, factories, warehouses, data centers and other profitable opportunities.
Saya menggalakkan supaya koperasi ini menceburi sektor hartanah, di mana rakyat kita pada masa ini sudah tentu ingin memiliki rumah sendiri dan sebagainya. Ini satu potensi yang besar, dan dalam masa yang sama kita mengaluluhkan penyertaan koperasi yang terlibat dalam sektor hartanah ini untuk menyertai federasi koperasi hartanah.
Dato' Yvonne said in response to the government's efforts to encourage the cooperative sector to get involved in real estate development and construction, the Cooperative Commission of Malaysia has provided funding for the Cooperative Commission of Malaysia Revolving Capital Fund, known as the 100 Best Cooperative Funding. The formation of the Gig Economy Commission, which will be placed under the purview of the Prime Minister's Department, is a significant step towards addressing the complexities of the fast-growing gig economy in Malaysia and major facilitator of consumption expenditure. In lauding, including the move, Chief Executive Officer of Q Work Munawan Nordin said the Commission should encompass comprehensive protection for gig workers, platforms and employers. She said by including all stakeholders, the Commission can ensure fair practices, capacity building for workers and the formal recognition of gig work arrangements, which will enable workers to enjoy benefits similar to full-time employees. Ride-hailing, food delivery services and dispatch and other delivery services are among the major jobs undertaken by gig workers. Muna said the Commission should work towards reducing barriers for local platforms and promoting skilled gig jobs that contribute to the national economy. With these measures, she said the nation can unlock the full potential of the gig economy and create a sustainable and equitable environment for all of those involved. Tenaga Nasional Berhad (TNB) is expected to increase its capital expenditure or capex, particularly in its transmission and distribution division, to accommodate technology companies setting up data center facilities in the Klang Valley and Johor. In a note issued today, Public Investment Bank Berhad PIVB said Telekom Malaysia Berhad TM is seen as the prime beneficiary in the telco space, and the thirst for more energy should lead to an unprecedented surge in TNB's power demand. PIVB noted that TNB is expected to roll out about 90 billion ringgit in capex for 6 years until 2030 to support energy transition initiatives and system upgrades. It also said more infrastructure developments such as power connectivity, internet exchange points, cable landing stations and fiber optic cables is expected to be laid to cater to the expanding information technology IT workloads. The investment bank said other beneficiaries from the increased data center investments in Malaysia include construction sector players such as Gamuda Berhad and IJM Corporation Berhad for their track record in securing more data center jobs. About 30% of the 1,661 telecommunications telco towers under the National Digital Network Jendela project have been completed and are fully operational nationwide. Deputy Communications Minister Theoni Ching said the percentage translates to 716 telco towers, out of which 492 are fully operational. She said factors contributing to the delay in the Jendela project, particularly in Sabah and Sarawak, include the lack of suitable sites and contractor delays. The project in the two states, which began in 2022, was supposed to be completed within 18 months, but is only 50% completed in Sabah and 20% in Sarawak.
Mungkin ada kawasan-kawasan khasnya di Sabah dan Sarawak yang kami bolehlah atau kami perlulah consider microwave sebagailah backhaul ataupun menggunakan pakai satellite sebagailah backhaul untuklah memberi perkhidmatan komunikasi. Kerana kalau kawasan pendalaman, kalau nak tunggulah sampailah kita lay down itu gentian optik sampai ke kawasan tu ambil masa yang panjang.
She said this to reporters after visiting the telco tower sites in Kampung Murni Jaya 2 and Kampung Tersusun Murni Jaya in Julai today. Proton Holdings Berhad is ramping up production for the 2024 Proton X50 to meet the model's overwhelming demand and expedite the delivery timeline for customers by August. The newly launched Proton X50 has received an overwhelming response, amassing a total of 8,000 bookings within just 1 month since its debut in June this year. Proton said the demand exceeded the company's expectations, setting a new benchmark for its segment. It further said that all customers who are entitled to an early bird promotion of 7,000 ringgit cash discount and 1,000 or 1,500 ringgit trade-in support will receive it accordingly. Proton EDA Chief Executive Officer Roslan Abdullah said the exceptional booking numbers in the first month demonstrate the strong appeal of 2024 Proton X50. He said Proton understands the excitement and anticipation surrounding the model, and the company wants to assure the customers that it is doing everything possible to meet their expectations. Since its original debut in 2020, Proton X50 has been Malaysia's best-selling SUV with 115,262 units sold up to June. And now we move on to the next segment of our bulletin, On the Table. Over to you, Otto.
Oh, thank you very much, Olivia, for that. Good evening and welcome back to the show. Now, as the twilight of anticipation descends upon the world of air travel, a new chapter emerges for Malaysian airports. Now, with steely determination, Malaysia Airport Holdings Berhad MAHB has embarked on a daring odyssey, venturing into uncharted territories to redefine the very essence of aviation excellence. And tonight, we are honoured to welcome back Professor Dr. Azmi Hassan in today's little studio from the National Council of Professor to unravel the tapestry, of MAHB's bold endeavours towards this now, and to enlighten us on certain paths that require certain things as well. Now, firstly, Professor, when it comes to this, urgent action is needed to elevate airports for national pride. Now, what do you make of that statement?
Well, first thing, Otto, thank you for having me, but I'm taken aback when you said a daring adventure by MAHB. It's not daring, it's something that are expected because, you know, our airport, KLIA 1 or 2, are quite behind. Not to mention Changi Airport or Bangkok, Suabumi Airport, but even Jakarta, Sukarno, we are quite behind. In terms of number of aircraft using our airport, number of passengers, we are way behind, Otto. So there's no doubt that MAHB controlling or taking care of 39 airports, they need help in this case, not only in terms of expertise, but also in terms of money-wise. I think that's the reason they embarked this, I use your word, daring journey. No, it's not daring. It is something that are normal. But I guess we are very sensitive to airport because our general population see airport is the first entry point. So in terms of security, it's got nothing to do with security, but that's the reason we are very apprehensive for this particular daring journey. Otto.
So you're saying it's more like towards management, ensuring the security of travelers coming into Malaysia,
yes,
and finding out, you know, this is our gateway, the first gateway of international travelers coming into Malaysia and venturing out to whatever adventure they have participate in Malaysia. Now, my next question, why does MAHB need a strategic partner for that matter now in moving forward in this competitive industry?
Yeah, I think to operate an airport, I think you need a lot of expertise. So GIP, the partners, I think they have expertise. They have managed a number of airports, international airports, Edinburgh Airport in Scotland, Gatwick in London, and also 2 years ago, they took over aviation Signature Aviation, which is the biggest airport operator in the United States. So when you mention GIP, Otto is synonymous to airport management because GIP is one of the biggest infrastructure investment private company that are specializing in airport management. So that's the reason why MAHB need this particular expertise.
And seeing that GIP has approximately asset of 106 billion US dollars, and seeing that they also manage certain airports as well, and maybe it's the fact that they manage these airports that MAHB is deciding to partner.
True,
is that
very
correct?
true. Yeah.
Now, in your opinion, could you give us a sense of what global infrastructure partners mean GIP has to offer in this deal?
Yeah, I think I'm quite surprised. We have done 4 minutes in our conversation. One of the terms has not arisen. Let me put why it has been a taboo because the partnership. Because a few months ago, GIP was taken over by BlackRock.
Yeah.
And it happens to be BlackRock is a very sensitive issue for Malaysian, but not only for Malaysian, but for others. But again, talking about GIP assets, the combination of BlackRock and GIP, that's the biggest infrastructure investment company. So they have money to spend. Not only they have the expertise to provide help so that we can elevate our airport to a much better level. I'm not sure whether the aerotrain is up and running right now. I think it's not up and running. I think that's one of the problem, Otto. But again, why I mentioned BlackRock is that that's the reason, that's the rally cry that has been used for those who oppose MAHB and GIP, because they relate it to BlackRock. Whether I can talk about BlackRock, I'm not sure. It all depends on what you question me, Otto.
Well, we did talk about this off air. MAHB has been conversing with GIP before even BlackRock was in the picture.
True.
So only now they decided to join venture or take over GIP?
Yeah, because MAHB, GIP has been on and off venture discussion for the last 2-3 years. It only took traction because a few months ago, BlackRock took over GIP. And as I mentioned, BlackRock is a very sensitive issue. It's a very sensitive company because it deals somehow or other with arms in the United States. So I think that's where the sensitive issue, but I think it's a misguided sensitive issue. Because the combination of MAHB and GIP is just to manage an airport.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with security. It's got nothing to do with our custom or immigration or security, checking our baggage. It's got nothing to do with that. So I guess it's a misguided concern. Yes, you need to be concerned, but it is a misguided concern. Because I felt so small when I go to Bangkok airport. Yeah. Looking at the airport compared to our airport, we are far, far behind.
Really?
Yes, we are far, far behind. Okay, Bangkok airport is something that I shouldn't use as an example. You look at Jakarta Sukarno Airport. Okay. I think we're far behind. I see. That's what makes me very sad because of this particular, I would say, misguided concern of GIP and also MAHB.
So back to MAHB, when it comes to this, one of the main reasons as well is the collaboration or partnership or probably a deal with GIP is that Kerana research projected that the inbound tourists are expected to hit about 27 million this year compared to 20 million last year. That's a big comparison over there. In your opinion, how would this privatization of MAHB contribute to tourism growth?
I think MAHB need the money. I think what constrained MAHB not only to develop KLIA, but they also need to develop the Penang Airport, the Langkawi Airport, all the other airport. One thing that struck me is that Penang Airport, for example, is an international airport. But when an outsider, the first-time visitor, drop by Penang using Penang Airport, it is quite shameful. During the landing, we can see, it is something not Penang should have. I think that's where I think the problem lies, that MAHB lack the money, lack the fund to develop this particular this important airport. I think that's where GIP come. Not only with the expertise again, but also with the most important thing is they have the fund. To say, I think, combination of GIP and also BlackRock, these are the infrastructure investment by the private sector. It is comparable and can challenge what BRI is offering. BRI is a Belt Road and Initiative. I think the sensitivity issue is that White House is very close to GIP and BlackRock. And the reason is that White House want to use as a competitor to the BRI by Beijing. I think that's where the sensitivity issues coming in.
Okay. Now, let's get back to this now. Back to Malaysia. Now, moving ahead, should the Public Accounts Committee, or PAC, get involved in this and conduct a thorough audit before having or moving towards any deal for that matter?
I know the question doesn't come from you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't ask that question because it's got nothing to do with auditing the finances of MAHB because it is very clear that Khazanah and APF have 70% control of the shares, GIP only 30%. And the appointment of CEO and the board of directors, Khazanah and APF, will have the power, will have the final say to it. In order that CEO that will be appointed after this, maybe a new CEO that are aligned to our agenda. So I don't see any reason why PAC need to be involved in this particular issue. Because from my understanding, when PAC is involved, there is something fishy going around. But rest assured, Otto, there is nothing fishy about it. I want to see my airport, our airport, something that are comparable to our neighbors. But currently, Otto, we are way behind. So we need to do something that. So the combination of GIP.
I wish we have that enthusiasm also in our board. I don't know them personally, but I hope that we have that, because certain issues might arise when it comes to having these kinds of partnerships and deals. Some potential issues may arise, for example, like a difference in expectations, ideology, management. Probably systems as well need to change. Now, do you think that could be an issue that could be a concern for MAHB?
I'm not worried about that. I'm sure GIP, BlackRock, they want profit because they are investment company. But rest assured, we hold a 70% share. Of course, 70% is a super majority.
So that means we have the final say? We
have the final say, especially on the CEO, the board of directors, and also the direction, where the direction should go for our airports. No, it's an unguided worries in this particular case, Otto.
I see. Okay, aside from that, Professor, it seems that they already have made the deal, but what kind of issues that you feel that they might need expertise in? Aside from expertise in terms, maybe like what you just said, like Penang Airport needs to refurbish a certain section of it probably. What else do you think?
I think the most important expertise is how to attract other airlines to use our airports. I think that's the way. I think if you go to, I don't know, Dubai Airport, for example, a destination that I've never heard of, they are there. Emirates go there. So what I would like to see is that our airport is like that.
Provide that service to international tourists.
But at least we can start it from from the lower end. But at least we are comparable to the Changi or the Bangkok airport. I say it again. Currently, we are way behind. So that kind of expertise, which need a lot of fun to develop and also connection in this case. So I'm hoping that this particular cooperation will be fruitful. And our worries is something that we are worried for nothing, I guess.
I would say so too. Well, I would like to say that that's all the time that we have, unfortunately, and for On the Table as well. And we've been speaking to Professor Dr. Azmi Hassan of the National Council of Professors, and together with Olivia. All right, I'm Otto Othman. And of course, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.